Welcome. We're so glad to have you join us for this Selichot Eve as we usher in the High Holy Days with a foretaste of the music, the words, and the spirit, we hope, of the holidays yet to come. If you'd like to join us and follow along in the service, you can find the Mishkan Halev flipbook in the YouTube description of our stream. We hope you'll join in, or if you'd prefer, sit back, enjoy, listen, and prepare for the holy days to come. We begin with the song Yedid Nefesh on page 97.
Yedid Nefesh av harachaman, Yedid Nefesh av harachaman, Mishochav decha, il ratzonecha, Mishochav decha, ya la 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 la, el ratzonecha, ya Rooks avdecha, ki ya la 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 el mul hadarecha.
We stand now at a moment of Havdalah, a moment of separation between the Sabbath, which is departing, and the new week and the new year, which beckons to come. We begin with our Havdalah service. You can find it on page 99.
הנה אל ישועתי אבטח ולא אפחד, כי עוזי וזמרתיה אדוני ויהי לי לישועה, ושפתם מים בששון ממעייני הישועה, לאדוני הישועה על עמך ברכתך סלה. אדוני צבאות עמנו משכב לנו אלוהי יעקב סלה. אדוני צבאות אשרי אדם בוטח בך. אדוני הושיע המלך יעננו ויום קוראנו. ליהודים הייתה אור ושמחה וששון ויקר כן תהיה לנו. כוס ישועות אשא ובשם אדוני אקרא.
Behold, God is my deliverer, full of trust, I am not afraid. For Adonai is my strength and the song of my soul, my salvation, now and always. May you as well draw water with joy, be refreshed by well springs of deliverance. Liberation is a gift from God, a blessing upon all your people. You are the God, all we can perceive, our haven, the God of Yaakov. You are the God of all that is beyond our perception. The one who has faith in you is fortunate. Show us the way to freedom. On the day we call you, answer us with strength. The Jews of old knew light and gladness, honor and joy. May we, their descendants, know them as well. I raise the cup of deliverance. I proclaim the name of Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, rule of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, borei peri hagafen, ya la 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 la, ya la.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei minei v'samim. Praised are you, Adonai our God, rule of the universe, creator of myriad spices.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei visamim borei minei visamim la 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 la
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei morei ha'esh. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, rule of the universe, creator of the light of the fire.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh ya la
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, rule of the universe, who separates holy from profane.
ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol ya la
la la la la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la.
Eliyahu hanabi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu hagiladi, bimhera emamenu, yavo eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu hagiladi.
We enter now into our Selichot service, which begins on page 104. God does not want to be believed in, to be debated and defended by us, but simply to be realized through us. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, chadesh yameinu kakedem. Take us back, Adonai. Take us back to you. Renew in our time the days of old. Return again, return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai elecha,
Last sliver of the moon, the waning crescent, small and slender, glowing in the east at the end of the journey. A curve of silver barely there, that fades away with the dawn, Faintest light the eye can discern, like the soul within me, barely there, waning and weary as the year winds down. At the end of the journey, the old moon flickers out, and darkness awaits the new. Now, in the stillness, we can bring it into being born. Remind us the horizon will be bright again, the waxing crescent will rise, heal our hearts, gather us in from the darkness, restore the light that is within. And so, we have come to this hour of Selichot, under the canopy of night, to celebrate goodness, to proclaim what is right and true, to praise, to thank, to bless the great giver who gives and renews our lives. We turn to loved ones, to friends, to our people everywhere, the whole house of Israel. And our hearts turn towards human family. We pray for its healing. Yet, hardest of all is the inward gaze, to return to ourself, the onyx reckoning of the soul, cheshbon hanefesh. We ask how to account for selfish acts, lies, and senseless anger, how to account for the shadows, the storms, the bitterness in our lives, the damage and the distress we cause, how to own up to it all and find our way back with integrity, in peace. We ask, have we the will to change? And if not now, when? We continue on page 108. God is my light and my refuge secure, whom shall I fear? God is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? Just one thing I have asked of God, only this do I seek, to dwell in God's house all the days of my life, to behold divine sweetness and beauty, and to gaze in delight at God's temple.
Yavo Ezri, me'ayin yavo, Yavo Ezri, me'ayin yavo, Yavo Ezri, me'ayin yavo, Yavo Ezri. Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from? My help will come from God, Maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, Maker of heaven and earth. Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from? My help will come from God, Maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, Maker of heaven and earth.
Page 111. A ship cannot make its own way through the seas without a compass, and we cannot make our own way through life without being asked at each turn, each and every year, Ayeka, where are you? That question and our question create the moral agenda for our work in the year ahead. If I do not focus on the purpose, what is the point of my life? Open to me, the Holy One said to Israel. My children, make for me an opening of tshuva, as small as the eye of a needle, and I will make the opening of forgiveness so wide that coaches and wagons could enter.
hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. I call to you, please hear my prayers, oh God. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me. Please heal me now. Don't hide your face. Don't hide your face from me.
Page 114. Lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive the darkness in our hearts, our loss of hope. Pardon our distraction, our ears closed to the pleas of the poor, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonder, mother of souls, forgive us our circles of secrecy, knots of guilt, shame, and anger, webs of betrayal and greed. Pardon the pursuit of happiness that ends in the worship of the self, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, refuse to forgive our refusal to forgive. Release our grudges, hatred, and feuds, puncture our stubborn self-righteousness, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive our vanity in a universe of awe, our complacency in a universe of need. Pardon our failure to thank, praise, and salute every soul and every star, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our disregard and insolence, our distance from loved ones and friends. Pardon our daily inattentiveness, our failure to notice that we fail to notice, and lead us to atonement. Our God and God of our ancestors, we are your people and you are our God. We are your children and you are our father, our mother. We are the people who serve you and you call us to serve. We are your community and you are our portion. We are your legacy and you are our purpose. We are your flock and you are our shepherd. We are your vineyard and you watch over us. We are your work and you are our maker. We are your beloved and you are our lover. We are your treasure and you are the one we cherish. We are your people and you reign over us. We offer you our words, and you offer us yours. So forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Notice the river at the break of dawn, a braid of streams, creeks, and brooks, a dance of insects near the shore. Notice how brackish where the river meets the sea, how with grace the river hugs the shore, fierce in its rising, fiercer when it falls. Notice it all, how it bends, how it tells, how the time of the year and how smooth the borders are that guide its course. Notice the Holy One is blessing and in beauty, in acts of repair, in the unearthing of truth, in eyes that meet in the tumult of change, in words of forgiveness, in the bridges we build to those we hurt, in the flow of a year, in the course of a journey, in the rising and falling in the bend of a river, in the hand we hold out of those who hurt us, in the life we are living, in blessing and in beauty.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Rachum v'Chanun, Irei Chapayim, v'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Nose avon v'fesha v'chata'a v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, Il Rachum v'Chanun.
Adonai, Adonai, God compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving, and true, showing mercy to the thousandth generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon. We rise now as we open the ark. The elders, we rise now to honor them, our elders, from whom we have learned stories and lessons, with whom we've studied and worshiped and celebrated the passages of life and time, our elders, who have taught us goodness, honesty, and the sanctity of life, whose mantles are woven with threads of memory, embroidered with silver and gold, majestic folds of silk and velvet, in royal hues befitting their rank, as brilliant as the sun. We rise now to honor them, as they have put aside their everyday mantles of splendor and donned their sacred garments, the vestments of purity and holiness, befitting the days of awe so soon approaching. Each in its turn is fixed with wimple mantle and crowns, each more stunning than the last. Majestic folds of velvet and silk to clothe the holy words, a canvas of purest silk, as brilliant as the moon. The holy season has now begun, and the elders, in their yontif clothes, stand proud and tall before us, beacons of wisdom and light, reminders of the holiness we seek on this new day in Elul. Now, this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after all these days, declares the Eternal. I will place my Torah deep inside them, and I will write it upon their hearts. And I will be to them a God, and they will be to me a people. No longer will friend teach friend, and kin say to kin, know the Eternal. All of them, small and great, will know me, declares the Eternal. For I will forgive their acts of injustice, and their wrongful deeds I will no longer remember.
It's Chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomechea m'ushar, d'racheha, darchinoam, v'chol netivotea, shalom. Hashivinu Adonai Ilecha nashuva Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu
A precious teaching I have given you. My Torah, do not forsake it. A tree of life to those who hold it fast. All who embrace it know happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Take us back, Adonai. Let us come back to you. Renew in our time the days of old. We continue on the path of return, page 124. Soul of eternity, my strength, my song, where will I find you? Your place is a mystery. It is far away. But where will I not find you? Your glory fills the world. I sought your nearness. I called you with all my heart. And when I went out to find you, I found you coming towards me. Breathless, I witnessed your power, and in holiness I gazed. You have searched me inside and out with your beam. You have known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You think my thoughts before they arrive in my mind. You are my walking. You are my lying down. All my living is your knowing. Where could I go to be apart from you? To what place flee from your presence? Awesome is what it is, what you are. And this I know in the secret silences of my heart, where your awareness dwells and embroiders me into the fabric of the physical world. Out of the slender thread only your eyes can see, recorded by your hand into the book of the world, all the days of my recordable life, even before I lived them. Search me inside and out with your beam. Pour your awareness throughout my heart like honey, and find the crookedness and selfishness there, and lead me away from it on the way to your timeless time. There are those who struggle for a day, and they are good. There are those who struggle for a year, and they are better. There are those who struggle for a lifetime, and they are the indispensable ones. Page 127, Vidui. As the days of awe near, we reach for the infinite. Mindful of our frailty, we seek the holy. Despite our mortality, we carry within us the Ancient of Days. Despite loneliness within, we sense that we belong to a single soul, a spirit that fills the entire universe. Let us find in that universal spirit a new source of strength and significance, more compassion, more generosity, more gratitude for life. Let our hearts be open to self-reckoning, and may we grasp how vital to our lives is tshuva, the path of return. On this night of forgiveness, we confess our wrongs and take account of sins, failures of judgment, weakness of will. The hour is late. Our need to be forgiven, profound. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, tavo lefanecha tfilatenu. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. Together we confess. Together we take responsibility. Ashamnu, bagadnu, gazalnu, dibarnu dofi. We abused and abandoned. We acted without thinking. We blamed others when we failed. We boasted and belittled. We coveted and corrupted. We coerced the weak to do our will. We drove away those we loved with silence. We deceived and denied. We enticed and enslaved. We exalted money and material goods. We fouled air, sea, and land. We flattered and falsified. We gravitated to those who gossip. We gave up our ideals and gave in to our impulses. We hated and humiliated. We held grudges and refused to forgive. We ignored and idolized. We insisted that we were right. We judged others rashly and wrongly. We were jealous and unjust. We killed. We were knowingly unkind. We kept to ourselves in face of need. We lacked commitment to causes we espoused. We were lazy and we lied. We missed the mark and minimized our mistakes. We mocked what we did not understand. We neglected those who depend upon us. We were negative and narcissistic. We overreached and overreacted, too often erupting in outbursts of anger. We poisoned and polluted and perverted truth for personal gain. We quelled the voice of conscience within us. We quit too soon and quarreled too often. We ridiculed and resented. We refused to accept help. We rationalized our failings and our flaws. We spurned the wisdom of our tradition. We squabbled and scorned. We talked too much and not enough. We traumatized our children with anger. We issued ultimatums and made ugly threats. We uttered untruth and undermined with cynicism. We were vain and vicious and vilified foreigners and strangers. We wasted time, strength, and talent. We wallowed in self-pity, wished but did not act. We exploited and expropriated. We expected others to save the world. We yearned too much for prizes and praise and failed to share fully in the joy of Zion reborn. We continue with Al Chet, our confession of sin, page 131. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha. We stray and we sin. When we fail to make peace the highest good, and we are silent in the face of evil. When we forsake those who suffer far away, and when we shun the wronged and destitute among us. When we diminish God's image through violence or indifference, and when we fail to take care of those who depend upon us. When we engage in slander or deceit, and when we distort the truth for personal gain. When we judge others rashly or unfairly, and when we stoke the fires of communal strife. When we fail to embrace Torah, the trees of life, to walk its path, to make its ways our own. We stray and we sin, when we offer no blessing, no words of thanks for the breath that is within us, and for the wonder of being. Va'al kulam lo haslichot, slach lanu, machal lanu, kaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and of will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
Lanu,
Page 132. The place where we are right. From the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. The place where we are right is hard and trampled like a yard. But doubts and loves dig up the world like a mole, a plow. And a whisper will be heard in the place where the ruined house once stood. Our calling. Surely this mitzvah is not so baffling for you, nor is it beyond your reach. It is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart. You shall not threaten the rights of the stranger or the orphan. You shall not take a widow's garment and pawn. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt. Justice, justice shall you pursue, that you may live to inherit the land that Adonai your God gives you. You must not remain indifferent. Keep and heed all that I instruct you. Thus it will go well with you and your children after you for all time. This mitzvah is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart. When you reap the harvest of your field and overlook a sheaf, it shall go to the stranger, the orphan, and the widow. You must not remain indifferent. Life and death I have set before you, blessing and curse. Choose life, so that you and your children may live. Blessed shall you be in your coming, blessed shall you be in your going. You must not remain indifferent. Imagine how our lives might be if everyone had even a bit more of the wisdom that comes from seeing clearly. Suppose people everywhere simultaneously stopped what they were doing and paid attention for only so long as it took to recognize their shared humanity. Surely the heartbreak of the world's pain, visible to all, would convert everyone to kindness.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Rachum v'Chanun. לאלפים, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון ופשע וחטאה ונקי. אדוני, אדוני, אל רחום וחנון.
Adonai, Adonai, God compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, show mercy to the thousandth generation, forgiving evil, defiance and wrongdoing, and granting pardon. Return now, Israel, to the one who forgives, for you have fallen because of your sin. Return as the shrill sound of the shofar that rises from the spiral of the ram's horn towards heaven. Take words with you and return to the eternal. I will be to Israel like dew. They shall blossom like a lily. Return as the leaves in spring, renewed and beautiful. Stretch out your arms to God and return, like a child to her mother, to love and peace. Ashrei ha'am yodea tru'ah. Happy are the ones who know the sacred sound, the joyful shout, soul of eternity. Your presence lights the path we walk. A gift for those who trust in God, renewed strength for the weary, vitality for those who stumble and fall. Cry from the depths, says God, do not hold back. Lift up your voice like the shofar. Walk with me into the woods. Leave the edge of the forest behind. Come deep into the green until the shafts of sunlight are lost. Feel the stillness of the center. Walk with me to the top of the hill. Leave the broad path behind. Up beyond the trees grow. Hear the quiet of the heights. Walk with me into this new year, into its demands, into its joys, into the clamor of its unfolding. Walk alone, each of us, on our own right path, with the echoes of the blast of the shofar, with the stillness of the center, with the help of our God. Hear, O Israel, hear now the heartbeat of Israel in the quiet space between a year that is ending and a year that begins. Hear the call of hope and joy, and hear the call of repentance and renewal. Hear the call to create and to embrace. Hear the call to restore and to heal. Hear the call to atone and perfect, to search the soul and account for every deed. Hear the call to wrestle with sins and flaws, to fight injustice and serve the suffering. Hear the call to gather in the scattered sparks of divinity, and hear the call to seek the core of our humanity. Hear the call of compassion and forgiveness. Hear the call to return to Torah, to our people, to the one who teaches love and patience, mercy and truth. Hear the commanding sound of tshuva. Hear the urgent call of Tikkun. We rise for Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lifanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we've strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol Aleinu, Va'al Ol Aleinu, V'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei Dever, V'cherev, V'ra'av, Me Aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu kale kol tsar umastin me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu kotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chaninu v'aninu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaninu v'aninu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Asimonu, Asimonu, Asimonu tzedok v'chesed v'hoshenu. Asimonu tzedok v'chesed v'hoshenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaninu v'aninu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaninu v'aninu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Tkiya